Have you ever wondered what life might look like in your twilight years? Many people imagine a peaceful retirement, but the reality for some elderly individuals can be quite different. In this video, we'll explore the 9 types of elderly people who often face the most miserable lives. From financial struggles to the lack of family support, these challenges paint a stark picture of what can go wrong in old age. Understanding these situations is crucial because it sheds light on the hidden struggles many face and helps us all prepare for our futures or support our loved ones better. By watching until the end, you'll gain valuable insights into avoiding these pitfalls and ensuring a more secure and fulfilling old age for yourself or those you care about. Let's delve into these heart-wrenching realities and learn how to make a positive impact in the lives of our elderly. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. 1 is elderly people with unfilial children. When elderly individuals have unfilial children, their later years can become profoundly distressing and painful. The depth of their suffering is particularly evident when they fall ill. In these situations, rather than providing the necessary support and care, unfilial children often shirk their responsibilities. They show little to no willingness to demonstrate the respect and compassion typically expected of them. Instead of taking on the role of diligent caregivers, these children neglect their duties, leaving their elderly parents to fend for themselves. This lack of care is especially harsh when the elderly are unable to manage their own needs due to illness or frailty. In some distressing cases, the children might even harbor a sense of relief or hope for their parents' passing, seeing it as a solution to their burden rather than a moment for compassionate support. The result is a life marked by profound misery for the elderly. The unfilial behavior of their children not only exacerbates their physical suffering but also deepens their emotional anguish. The compounded impact of poor health and the lack of familial support creates a dire situation that is almost unbearable, turning what should be a period of rest and dignity into one of distress and hardship. 2. Elderly people with poor health, especially those burdened with illness. Particularly those who are burdened with severe illness. For some bedridden elderly people, even with the most diligent and loving care provided by their children, comfort remains elusive. They may find themselves confined to their beds for extended periods, enduring long-term illnesses that confine them to a state of near constant immobility. This situation can persist for 2 to 3 years, or even stretch out for over a decade, leaving them in a state that resembles a living death, devoid of the quality of life they once enjoyed. The experience of being bedridden can be profoundly distressing, as these individuals grapple not only with their physical ailments but also with a sense of isolation and helplessness. Their days blend in a monotonous routine of pain and discomfort, with little to break the endless cycle of confinement. This persistent condition can lead to emotional and psychological suffering, further compounding the physical challenges they face. Moreover, the impact of their condition extends beyond their suffering. Their children, who strive to provide the best possible care, often find themselves overwhelmed by the demands of caregiving. The burden of managing the complex needs of a bedridden parent can be physically, emotionally, and financially taxing. As a result, the entire family may experience significant strain, navigating the delicate balance between caring for a loved one and maintaining their well-being. 3. Elderly people without pensions or savings. In their later years, if the elderly have no for elderly individuals who find themselves without pensions or personal savings, the later years of life can become particularly challenging. When a lack of financial resources is present, these individuals are often compelled to rely on their children for financial support. This dependency can create a host of difficulties that extend beyond the mere act of requesting help. The necessity to continually ask for money from their children can be a deeply uncomfortable experience for elderly individuals. The act of reaching out for financial assistance, especially regularly, can be a humbling and distressing situation. This discomfort is compounded by the emotional weight of needing to request help from loved ones. Each request for financial support can feel like a personal failure, intensifying feelings of embarrassment and inadequacy. Moreover, the dynamics of these financial requests can strain family relationships. Elderly individuals may encounter their children's irritation or frustration in response to their repeated appeals for assistance. This can create an atmosphere of tension and discomfort within the family, where the elderly person may feel as though they are a burden or an inconvenience. The emotional impact of facing their children's disdain or frustration can be quite significant, potentially leading to feelings of isolation and distress. The financial dependency on family members can also lead to power imbalances within relationships. The elderly individual may find themselves in a position where they feel compelled to justify their needs or express gratitude in ways that may not align with their dignity or self-esteem. This can further exacerbate feelings of discomfort and vulnerability. Addressing these issues requires a multifaceted approach. For elderly individuals, seeking alternative sources of financial support, such as community resources, government assistance programs, or social services, can be beneficial in alleviating some of the financial strain on their children. Additionally, open and honest communication with family members about financial needs and expectations can help to foster understanding and reduce potential sources of conflict. For families, providing support with empathy and respect can make a significant difference. Recognizing the emotional and psychological challenges faced by elderly relatives and compassionately offering assistance can help to maintain healthy and supportive family relationships. Encouraging the elderly to explore all available resources and providing guidance on managing finances effectively can also contribute to a more sustainable and less burdensome situation. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. 4. Elderly people without their independent housing. Many elderly people envision spending their later years comfortably in the homes of their children, believing that this arrangement will provide them with a sense of security and familial closeness. However, this expectation often leads to unintended consequences and challenges. When elderly individuals move in with their children, especially for prolonged periods, it can create a breeding ground for conflict. Even in the most loving and well-intentioned families, living together for extended durations can strain relationships and lead to friction. In many rural areas, it is common for elderly parents to transfer ownership of their homes to their children early on, a gesture made in good faith with the expectation of future support. Yet, this can result in a troubling situation where, in their old age, these parents find themselves without a place to call their own. Instead, they may be forced into a nomadic existence, moving from one child's home to another's, spending 1 month with one son and the next month with another. This constant shifting from house to house creates a rootless and unstable lifestyle that can be deeply unsettling. Although the children may appear to be caring for their parents by providing shelter, the reality is that this rotating arrangement often leads to a sense of displacement and misery for the elderly. Living in their children's homes, while ostensibly under the care of family, means living in a space that is not truly theirs. This lack of personal autonomy and the constant need to adapt to different environments and routines can lead to feelings of discomfort and a diminished sense of belonging. Despite the children's good intentions, the elderly individuals may feel like they are perpetually living as guests rather than as cherished family members with their place in the world. 5. Elderly people who never married or had children. For some elderly individuals who choose not to marry or have children, their later years can be marked by significant challenges and isolation. These individuals, having decided to remain childless, often face a stark reality when they become bedridden or incapacitated. The absence of children or immediate family members to provide daily care and comfort means that even basic needs, such as receiving a cup of tea or having someone to talk to, may go unmet. Despite having financial resources and residing in a nursing home, these elderly people are not immune to difficulties. Their lack of a family network can leave them vulnerable to mistreatment by caregivers, who may not be as attentive or compassionate as one would hope. Additionally, without the advocacy or support of loved ones, they may experience bullying or neglect from other residents in the facility. This situation can lead to a profound sense of loneliness and helplessness. The absence of a supportive family structure means that these individuals often lack the emotional and practical support needed to navigate the challenges of aging with dignity and care. The combined impact of isolation, potential mistreatment, and lack of personal advocacy creates a difficult and sometimes harsh environment for those who find themselves in this situation. 6. Elderly people with children who have no prospects. For elderly individuals whose children lack prospects and are unable to contribute to the household, their later years can be fraught with considerable stress and unhappiness. When children are unmotivated, lacking essential skills, or simply spend their days lounging at home, consuming resources without contributing, it places an immense burden on their aging parents. These children may rely entirely on their parents for their basic needs, including food, drink, and perhaps even personal expenses. This reliance can lead to a significant strain on the elderly's financial resources. Even if the parents have accumulated substantial savings or assets over their lifetime, the constant drain caused by their children's dependence can lead to financial instability. The parents' funds may eventually be depleted, leaving them vulnerable and unable to address any financial crises or emergencies that arise. Moreover, the emotional toll on the elderly can be severe. Watching their resources diminish while struggling to support children who do not contribute to the household can be a source of deep frustration and worry. The fear of running out of money and facing a future without adequate support can overshadow what should be a period of rest and peace. Consequently, the later years of these elderly individuals are often marked by anxiety and distress, rather than the comfort and security they might have hoped for. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. 7. Elderly people with a lifetime of poor conduct. For some elderly individuals, a lifetime of poor conduct can have profound and enduring repercussions, particularly as they enter their later years. Those who exhibited negative behaviors and attitudes during their youth, such as smoking, drinking excessively, gambling, displaying selfishness, harboring a bad temper, or being abusive towards their spouses and neglectful of their families, often face significant challenges in their old age. The impact of these behaviors extends far beyond the immediate consequences and can shape the nature of relationships and interactions in later life. Individuals who engage in such conduct may find themselves facing a lack of support and affection from those around them as they age. The effects of their past behavior can lead to estrangement and emotional distance from their children, spouses, and other family members. Children who grew up with a parent exhibiting these negative traits may experience deep-seated resentment and emotional trauma. As adults, they might struggle with maintaining a close relationship with their aging parent, often leading to a distancing effect. This distancing is not merely a reflection of the difficulties experienced, but also a protective mechanism to avoid further emotional harm. Similarly, a spouse who endured years of abuse, neglect, or a lack of support might also choose to distance themselves from their partner in old age. The accumulated resentment and emotional scars can make it challenging for them to provide care or maintain a close bond, further isolating the elderly individual. The repercussions of a lifetime of poor conduct can lead to a significant lack of social support, which is crucial for elderly individuals. As they face the physical and emotional challenges of aging, the absence of a supportive network can exacerbate feelings of loneliness and isolation. The lack of close relationships and emotional connections can make it increasingly difficult for them to navigate their later years with the comfort and care that they might otherwise receive. Addressing these issues involves a combination of reflection, acknowledgement, and, where possible, efforts toward reconciliation. For elderly individuals, recognizing the impact of their past behaviors on their current relationships can be an important step. Engaging in sincere efforts to make amends, seek forgiveness, and demonstrate genuine change can sometimes help to heal old wounds and rebuild relationships. For family members, finding ways to manage their emotional responses while still offering support, where feasible, can be a challenging but important task. Professional counseling or mediation can sometimes facilitate communication and understanding, helping to bridge the gap created by past behaviors. 8. Elderly people gave all their savings to their children. A common scenario among elderly individuals is the decision to deplete their savings to support their children, especially when they observe their children's families struggling financially. Driven by deep love and a desire to provide for their family, many parents willingly sacrifice their financial security to alleviate their children's burdens. This act of selflessness and devotion reflects a profound bond and commitment to the well-being of their offspring. However, this noble gesture, while well-intentioned, can sometimes lead to significant challenges and hardships for the elderly parents themselves. By transferring all their savings to their children, they often find themselves left with inadequate resources to support their own needs in their later years. The financial cushion that was once intended to provide stability and security can vanish, leaving them vulnerable to unforeseen expenses or emergencies. As they age, these parents may face difficulties managing their living costs, medical bills, and other necessities without the financial safety net they once had. This situation can lead to emotional stress and anxiety as they grapple with the consequences of their generosity. The very act of giving everything away while doing out of love may inadvertently create a precarious situation where their well-being is compromised. Moreover, if the children's financial situation does not improve or if unforeseen complications arise, the parents may find themselves in a difficult position, relying on others for support or facing a diminished quality of life. The once celebrated act of giving can become a source of regret and trouble if it leads to a precarious financial situation for the elderly individuals who sacrifice so much. 9. Elderly people whose children live far away. In today's world, it is increasingly common for elderly individuals to reside in rural areas or small towns while their children have relocated to vibrant cities or even settled abroad. This geographical separation often means that the elderly parents see their children only once or twice a year, if at all. In some cases, children may live in different countries, returning home only sporadically or not at all. For these elderly individuals, the physical distance from their children can create profound emotional and practical challenges. The lack of nearby family support means they face the trials of aging largely alone, without the frequent companionship or assistance that might otherwise be provided by their loved ones. This situation can lead to significant feelings of loneliness and isolation, as the infrequent visits do little to alleviate their daily struggles. The impact of this separation is severe. Without nearby family members, elderly individuals may encounter critical situations alone, with no immediate help available. In extreme cases, this isolation can lead to tragic outcomes where, in the event of illness, accidents, or even death, no one may notice or intervene promptly. The solitude can be so profound that, in the worst scenarios, these individuals might pass away unnoticed, with their death going undetected for a significant period. In today's world, there is a growing sentiment that having children to rely on in old age is a privilege largely reserved for the older generation. This perspective contrasts sharply with the evolving ideologies of the younger generation, particularly those influenced by open-minded and child-free dual income, no kids philosophies. Many young people now view life as an opportunity for independence and personal freedom, rather than as a means to continue the family line or to provide care for elderly parents. They believe that marriage and children are not prerequisites for a fulfilling life, and that diligent work and financial planning can ensure a comfortable retirement through the support of a well-chosen nursing home. However, the reality of aging without children raises important questions. Can one truly secure a comfortable and fulfilling later life without the presence of any offspring? The experience of individuals like 73-year-old Mr. Gua offers insight into this question. Mr. Gua, a childless elderly man, once believed that success in his career, ample financial resources, and a supportive partner would be sufficient to ensure a worry-free old age. He felt confident that these elements would shield him from concerns about elderly care. However, his circumstances changed dramatically when his partner passed away 2 years ago, and he found himself moving into a nursing home. After settling into the nursing home, Mr. Gua's initial optimism gave way to regret and disillusionment. He quickly realized that despite his financial stability and the comforts of the facility, there is an undeniable reality to the need for children in one's later years. According to Mr. Gua, after spending just 6 months in the nursing home, he came to a poignant conclusion: having children is crucial for a secure and supportive old age. Mr. Gua's story illustrates the challenges faced by those who, despite their best efforts and resources, find that the absence of children leaves a void that cannot easily be filled by financial means alone. His experience underscores the emotional and practical significance of family connections in the later stages of life, shedding light on the complexities of navigating old age without the support of a child. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. At 73 years old, I reflect on my life journey that began in a county town where my family was considered well off. I was one of 5 children, the eldest sister, myself as the second, followed by 2 brothers and the youngest sister. From an early age, I was seen as the most promising of my siblings. My academic performance was consistently outstanding, far surpassing that of my brothers and sisters, making me the most likely candidate for college. However, due to the suspension of college entrance exams during that period, I was sent to the countryside as an educated youth, a situation that lasted for 8 years. By the time I returned to the city in 1977, I was 26 years old. During my time in the countryside, I had met my future wife, and we had registered our marriage. Both of us harbored dreams of pursuing higher education, so upon our return to the city, we made a deliberate choice to postpone starting a family. Instead, we focused our efforts on preparing for and taking the college entrance exams. My parents were not supportive of our decision. They believed that while I should pursue the exams, my wife should stay home and start a family. Despite their strong objections, we both remained resolute in our desire to continue our education. In the first year that college entrance exams were resumed, we were both fortunate enough to gain admission to the same university. Throughout our college years, our focus was intensely on our studies, leaving little room for the typical aspects of married life. We decided not to have children, planning instead to do so after graduation and when we secured stable jobs. However, once we graduated and were both assigned rewarding positions, the idea of having children no longer appealed to us. We enjoyed the freedom of living as a couple without the additional responsibilities that come with raising a child. Our lives were filled with the joys of companionship and the freedom to pursue our interests and hobbies, unencumbered by the demands of parenthood. Despite having numerous grandchildren from my siblings, my traditional parents continued to pressure us to have a child, arguing that it would not be a financial burden given our circumstances. They believed that having a child was necessary for future support in old age. Yet my wife and I were content with our decision. We observed our colleagues who, despite their professional achievements, faced significant stress from balancing work and family life. Some even sacrificed career opportunities for their children's sake. We were not workaholics, but we valued the freedom we had created for ourselves. The idea of having a child seemed to us more of an obligation than a genuine desire. We were confident that our stable dual income situation, our home, savings, and a good pension would ensure we could manage our needs in old age. Additionally, the restriction of having only one child, and the possibility of that child eventually leaving or not being particularly attentive, reinforced our decision to remain childless. In the past, my wife and I were unaware of the term for our chosen lifestyle, living without children. It wasn't until the 1990s, with increased exposure to global information, that we discovered our way of life was known as dual income, no kids. We learned that many others around the world were embracing the same lifestyle, enjoying the freedom and openness it provided. This newfound knowledge reassured us that our choice was not only valid but also shared by many. The freedom we experienced allowed us to live fully and openly, without the constraints of raising children. Each day was an opportunity for us to focus on our happiness and well-being, in stark contrast to those who were devoted to the demands of parenthood. We worked diligently to enjoy our lives, save for our future, and build a life that was uniquely ours. Frequent travels, visits to renowned destinations, and indulging in our passions became the hallmark of our more than 40 years together. Our lifestyle was a celebration of our autonomy and choice. As we reached retirement age, we were confident that our years of preparation would sustain us comfortably. We had made prudent financial decisions, including purchasing a home for our retirement and setting aside funds for future needs, including a nursing home. We believed that as long as we maintained our health and financial stability, we would continue to live well in our later years. However, life took an unexpected turn. About a year ago, my wife fell seriously ill. Despite our careful planning, her prolonged illness presented challenges that we hadn't anticipated. For 6 months, I devoted myself to her care, hoping that our preparation would see us through. Unfortunately, her condition worsened, and despite our best efforts, we reached a point where we could no longer manage her care effectively. The day she passed away was one of profound loss and loneliness. Despite the many friends and acquaintances we had made during our travels, I found myself isolated in this personal crisis. The social network we had built over the years, while vibrant and fulfilling, did not offer the support I needed during this deeply personal and painful time. The reality of our situation starkly contrasted with the security and happiness we had envisioned. This experience has taught me that while financial preparation and a fulfilling lifestyle are important, they do not always account for the emotional and relational aspects of life. The challenges that come with losing a loved one can be overwhelming, and the connections we cultivate in life may not always provide the support we expect during our most trying moments. After the heartbreaking loss of my beloved wife, I found myself grappling with an overwhelming sense of loneliness as I continued to live alone in the home we had lovingly shared for so many years. Each corner of the house seemed to echo with memories of happier times, amplifying the void left by her absence. As the months passed, my health began to deteriorate, and the once familiar and comforting environment of our home became increasingly challenging to navigate. The decision to move into a nursing home was one of the hardest choices I had ever made. We had meticulously planned for our financial future, ensuring that our resources would support us in our later years, but no amount of money could have prepared me for the emotional turmoil that awaited me in this new chapter of life. The transition to the nursing home was nothing short of jarring. I struggled immensely to adapt to a new environment that was starkly different from the sanctuary of my home. Each day presented new challenges, from finding my place within the structured routine to dealing with the logistical hurdles of daily life. The feelings of helplessness and despair were often overwhelming, especially since I was isolated from my family. The nursing home staff and fellow residents, despite their kindness and genuine efforts to offer support, could not fill the profound void left by the absence of my loved ones. The emotional connection and companionship that had been a cornerstone of my life were sorely missed, leaving me feeling adrift and deeply alone. In reflecting upon my experiences, it has become painfully clear that our financial preparations, though thorough, were insufficient to address the deeper emotional needs that arose in old age. The profound loneliness and sense of helplessness I experienced underscored the undeniable truth that the lack of close family connections had a far-reaching impact on my well-being. Despite our careful financial planning, the reality of living without the close presence of children or family was a harsh contrast to the life we had envisioned. The emotional support and companionship that I yearned for could not be bought or replaced, revealing the limitations of money in providing true comfort and solace. My experiences have led me to a poignant realization: having children may offer profound benefits in old age that extend beyond financial security. The emotional support, sense of belonging, and genuine companionship that children provide are irreplaceable treasures that money alone cannot procure. Even with a secure financial foundation, the love and connection of family members, especially children, are invaluable. As I navigate the challenges of my later years, I have come to understand that achieving a fulfilling and supported life requires not only financial stability but also the warmth and companionship that only family can offer. As we wrap up today's exploration of the 9 types of elderly people who face the most challenging lives, I hope you've gained valuable insights into the realities of aging and how we can make a difference. What have you learned from this video? Reflect on one key takeaway that you will bring into practice in your own life or in supporting those around you. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear how this information has impacted you and any steps you plan to take moving forward. If you like this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Your support helps us continue to bring meaningful discussions and insights to our community. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.